The age of Taurus is one of the 12 astrological ages in the precession of the equinoxes, lasting approximately 2,160 years. It is believed to have spanned from around 4000 to 2000 BC. This age was characterized by agriculture and fertility. The emphasis on agriculture and the fertility of the land, reflected in the worship of deities associated with fertility. Bull worship. The bull became a significant symbol during this period, representing strength and fertility. Cultures such as the Egyptians and Minoans revered the bull in their religious practices. Cultural developments. The age of Taurus saw the rise of early civilizations, including the establishment of social hierarchies and organized religious practices. The planet associated with the age of Taurus was Venus, which ancient cultures during those times were heavily into solar, star worship and considered planets to be divine entities. Here are the equivalents of Venus from various pantheons. Roman. Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and fertility. Greek. Aphrodite, the Greek counterpart to Venus, also associated with love and beauty. Sumerian. Inanna, the goddess of love, war, and fertility, known for her complex mythology. Babylonian. Ishtar, the goddess of love, war, and fertility, closely related to Inanna in Sumerian mythology. Norse. Frigg or Frigga, the goddess associated with love, marriage, and fertility, though her role is more focused on motherhood and domesticity. Hindu. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, fortune, and beauty, often associated with love and prosperity. These deities share themes of love, beauty, and fertility, reflecting their significance in their respective cultures. There were also dark practices that were born during these times as well in fear of not pleasing Taurus and Venus. Child bull sacrifice to Baal and El during the times associated with the age of Taurus and in the worship of deities like Baal and El, various sacrificial practices were prevalent. Baal was a prominent god in the Canaanite pantheon, associated with storms, fertility, and agriculture. Rituals often included animal sacrifices, particularly bulls, as offerings to gain favor and ensure a good harvest. Some ancient texts and archaeological evidence suggest that child sacrifice was also practiced in Canaanite worship, particularly in dire circumstances or to appease deities like Baal. The biblical accounts, especially in texts like Leviticus and the story of King Ahaz, mention such practices, portraying them as abominations in contrast to Israelite worship. El, as the chief god of the Canaanites and later known as Yahweh to the Israelites, was also a recipient of sacrifices. While there is less direct evidence of child sacrifices to El, the practices surrounding both deities often overlapped, reflecting the syncretic nature of ancient Near Eastern religions. In the biblical timeline, Taurus would be the pre-flood age, which is the time between Adam's creation through Abraham's birth. The story of Elohim demanding Abraham to sacrifice his son on Mount Sinai, but instead sacrifice a lamb, was a proclamation to the end of the age of Taurus and into the age of Aries. Archaeological and genetic studies suggest that the Israelites likely emerged from the Canaanite population. The Hebrew Bible portrays the Israelites as having roots in the Canaanite land, with narratives of conquest and settlement. Early Israelites shared many cultural and religious practices with the Canaanites, which included worshipping similar deities and engaging in rituals that were sometimes at odds with the later, stricter monotheism of Judaism. The Israelites are traditionally viewed as a group that developed distinct religious and cultural identities over time, especially after the exodus from Egypt and the establishment of the monarchy in Israel. This identity was often defined in opposition to Canaanite practices, particularly in the context of biblical laws and prophetic writings.